So welcome to our session. We call it Demystifying Complex Pricing with SuperTrump. Sorry, let's see here. It's not working. Here we go. All right, sorry about that. Just technical difficulty. My name is Scott Thacker. I'm the CEO of Ivory Consulting, and I'm here with my colleague.
And I'm Jeff Ellis, Vice President of Sales and Business Development for Ivory, and it's great to see this audience today.
So before we start, I would like to recognize we have some customers in the room, and I'd like to say thank you very much for being our customer, for supporting us over the last 30 years. We also have some partners here. Say thank you for our partners. Thank you for coming. And I'd also like to recognize our friends at Salesforce who have been extremely helpful in bringing us onto the AppExchange within the last couple of months. So thank you to both of you. So we are very, very pleased to bring our 30 years of pricing expertise into the Salesforce AppExchange. We have developed our product over the years as a way of solving some very complex problems that our customers have had. And we have done it reliably for quite some time. And as we are known in the industry, making the right moves with SuperTrump for Salesforce. We're very excited to be what we believe is the first software application in equipment finance to be listed on the Salesforce AppExchange and to have adopted the Salesforce cloud. And we're very pleased to now offer all the functionality and all the experience and all of our pricing expertise to our Salesforce.com customers. So you might wonder, well, what is this industry that we play in, and what are our customers all about, and what pain points do our customers have? Well, I'm sure all of you at some point in your career have procured equipment for your business. And perhaps in that procurement effort, you have executed a lease or a loan. You're not alone. Fully 72% of the businesses in the United States procure equipment with some type of financing, either a lease or a loan. And of those 72%, they are buying what fuels the U.S. economy, almost $1.3 trillion every year in new equipment purchased. And so that means that roughly $825 billion worth of equipment was purchased with a lease or a loan. And a vast majority of that through our software as that lease or loan was structured for the lessee or the borrower. You might ask yourself, well, what kind of equipment makes up this $1.3 trillion a year? And what kind of equipment is SuperTrump applicable for? Well, it could be any variety of IT equipment. It could be agricultural equipment. It could be road equipment, whether it's trucking or front loaders. It could be over-the-water equipment, whether it's a steamship, a cruise line, or an oil tanker. But did you know the single largest category of asset that's financed every year is software? Exactly where we are here today, talking about software. That has become the single largest asset category by a long shot. SuperTrump handles all of these asset categories. It doesn't matter what your application is, and it doesn't matter what your use is. It doesn't matter what your equipment is. SuperTrump is there for you. So you might think to yourself, well, this is beginning to sound fairly complex. If I want to lease 1,000 rail cars, or if I want to lease an oil tanker, maybe it's fairly complex to do that. Well, let's look at how complex it can become. These are just some of the terms and some of the concepts that are brought to bear in a lease or a loan transaction. For example, you have to understand the type of asset. What is the useful life of that asset? You have to understand the tax implications that you're facing during the life of the lease. And you have to understand all the various regulatory issues that may come your way. And you want to think about various metrics, return on equity, return on asset. For example, MISF. How many people here know what MISF stands for? Oh, yes, of course. Of course, our partner. It's a very complex concept, but SuperTrump handles it with aplomb. So if you are interested in knowing more about MISF, stay after class, and we'll go through great detail discussion of what that stands for. So this is a big problem for many lessors and many lenders because there's so much complexity here. And we asked ourselves, how can we solve that problem? How can we demystify all the complexity involved with leasing and lending? Well, we have this product, and it's the hero. It's rescuing all of our clients and solving their problems. It's called SuperTrump. And we're known for 4 things. First of all, accuracy, reliability, ease of use, and last of all, visibility. So when you think about accuracy, when we talk to our customers over the last 30 years of providing SuperTrump to the equipment finance marketplace, and we ask them, why have you purchased SuperTrump? The number one answer, always, every time, is accuracy. Our numbers can withstand audits by the Big Four and all the other CPAs out there. You might also wonder reliability. Well, time and time again, our product pushes out the numbers over and over and over again. Always accurate. Ease of use. If you compare SuperTrump to an Excel pricing worksheet, there's a significant difference in how easy it is to use SuperTrump versus dealing with all the cells and all the formulas and all the mistakes that can occur in Excel. So we're very, very pleased to solve one of our customers' problems, which is how can we make pricing, leasing, and loans easy? We have ease of use. And visibility, we have industry standard reports already built into SuperTrump. If any of our customers have pains around specific reporting requirements, we just simply build reports that address and solve those pain points. And we have instant understanding of all of the output numbers coming out of SuperTrump as you change your input amounts. So you might ask yourself, well, who are the kind of people out there that are using this wonderful tool? And who is it in the United States that is helping businesses buy the over $1 trillion worth of equipment every year? We are very fortunate to have 4 of the 5 largest leasing and lending businesses in the United States as our customer. And we have 30 of the top 50 leasing companies in the United States. These come in 3 varieties. Banks, so for example, all money center banks, almost all regional banks, and even some community banks have equipment finance divisions. Those are our customers. We also have captives. There's a lot of manufacturing companies in the United States that have a financing arm. That's called a captive. Many of those are our customers. And there's a lot of independent financing and leasing businesses out there, CIT being one of the bigger ones that is independent. They're our customers. And we solve problems for them day in and day out using SuperTrump. So with SuperTrump, it doesn't matter what kind of equipment you're leasing, and it doesn't matter whether you're a bank, an independent, or a captive, SuperTrump works for you. So you might ask, how does SuperTrump work, and how do we make it easy to use, and how do we take away some of the pain points that lessors and lenders are experiencing on a daily basis? Well, first of all, we operate our software using templates. Templates come in 2 forms. The first kind is a template that's pre-populated out of the box, and these are set up for industry-specific metrics and measurements. For example, a lot of the tax rules and regulations, the FASB in the accounting rules and regulations around leasing. That's all standard in our product. But you might also have a specific way that you want to do business. You might look at pricing and structuring as your competitive weapon. In that case, we'll work with you to bring to fore templates that work just for your business. And we can work them into your version of SuperTrump and make it even easier for you to use the product. We also have key deal inputs. So we already know exactly what inputs need to go into a lease or a loan. And we provide those inputs in our input screen. Very, very easy for you to figure out where to put what. And then when it comes to the output, well, look, we have all of the output right here on the statistics page. And there's our friend, MISF. And what it's telling us, well, we're at 8.929 in a net pre-tax basis. when you vary any of the inputs, you look here on your output statistic, and guess what? It changes, and you see your new output. Very easy to structure and go through complicated what-if analysis with your customers. So we're very, very pleased now to bring SuperTrump into the Salesforce world. Jeff?
Thanks, Scott. Yes, we're quite excited to be able to bring the power and the simplicity of SuperTrump into the Salesforce platform. So you can now create, manage, and track your quotes within opportunities. You can run what-if scenarios for your customers. You can optimize your quotes by using the powerful SuperTrump user interface and access targeting and pricing and structuring parameters, all the real richness and value of SuperTrump. And then now that all your quotes and transactions are in Salesforce, guess what? There's a wealth of information from which you can run reports and do analytics. All of that through the products working together. So customers, equipment finance companies using SuperTrump for Salesforce can now rely on SuperTrump for Salesforce in order to drive pricing consistency and collaboration throughout the organization. So whether it's sales, whether it's sales management, it's pricers, it's operations, it's accounting, it's tax, it doesn't really matter. The entire organization can now benefit by having SuperTrump inside Salesforce. So when you think about it, many times companies struggle with, when they start running their numbers and all of a sudden they have to reconcile potential pricing inconsistencies that may come about because they're using different pricing tools in different parts of the organization. Or information is being manually inputted from one system to another. Or their systems are being siloed, so there's no real collaboration going on. Well, now every functional group within inside of an organization can benefit from the accuracy, the reliability, the ease of use, and the visibility provided by SuperTrump for Salesforce. So imagine your salesperson is now sitting in a customer's office running a quote on their iPad using Salesforce One, okay, and they're generating that quote. Meanwhile, someone back at the office, an operational group, in accounting, whatever it may be, is able to actually view and interact with that quote real time. So whether they're reviewing and okaying it or they're making slight modifications, all of that happens seamlessly because it's on the Salesforce platform. And so once you've driven this pricing consistency and collaboration throughout the entire organization, organizations are now able to realize an accelerated quote-to-fund process. This is all about speed of business. We've heard that in many of the Salesforce keynotes about speed. This happens when we have SuperTrump now inside Salesforce. You're able to realize greater efficiencies and productivity. Clearly, you're now able to provide an enhanced customer experience through speed of service. And lastly, an enormous amount of business insight is now available to you as a customer. Insight that tells you what's working, what's not working, what needs to change. All of it in order to win more business, more profitable business, manage risk, and at the end of the day, adhere to business and regulatory compliance. The next part of the presentation is going to take a look at how and why a leading equipment finance company in the United States is implementing SuperTrump for Salesforce.
Thanks, Jeff. Oops. We are really, now I don't know why this is happening with me twice. What did you do? Could we have some help, please?
I can do this too.
Okay. It's not working either. It's frozen.
You know what, we're almost done. Let's just put it right up here. Let's put it right here, Scott, and then move it from the toggle.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep.
Nope. Not yet. Sorry about the snafu, everyone.
Could you unplug that? And let's just go back to the slide. We don't need it. So we're just going to go here. That should run up. I guess it isn't. Yeah,
Yes, to plug it in.
I thought that was the, yeah, okay.
All right, well, while we're working on this, so we're really pleased to have a launch customer for SuperTrump for Salesforce. It's called First American Equipment Finance. It's a leasing and lending company that was started about 20 years ago in Rochester, New York by Bill Verhelli. And his mantra when starting this business was very high-touch customer service. And he wanted everyone in his business to focus on their customers in a very high-touch way. And so one of the things that Bill did as soon as Salesforce came along is he became a very early adopter of Salesforce. And Salesforce is used throughout the whole of First American Equipment Finance. And they're very, very happy with it. The only area that, in fact, never had any SuperTrump in it was the whole pricing and modeling area. So about a year ago, First American sold themselves to City National Bank in Los Angeles, and they found themselves with a significant pain point. All of a sudden, there were 3 different pricing engines. And it was very confusing because some people used one. The operations people had to figure out what tool was used to price a deal if they needed to make any changes to that deal. And so we were able to bring to First American the solution, which is SuperTrump for Salesforce. And they are now consolidating all 3 of their pricing tools onto SuperTrump for Salesforce. So as you know, in Salesforce, you create a quote within an opportunity. But we go beyond that, and we have what's called a price quote object, which is attached to that opportunity. So you can do anything you want in that price quote object, and it will save the history. You can do any sort of what-if analysis before you execute a deal, and then after the deal's been executed, you're always coming back to this price quote object that we have. We brought over our 30 years worth of understanding how people price into the user interface. So you're getting all of the SuperTrump history and pricing flexibility that you need when you're in SuperTrump for Salesforce. And in the case of First American, they view structuring and pricing as a competitive weapon very much just like they view high-touch customer service as their competitive weapon. And so we were able to bring customizations into their version of SuperTrump for Salesforce. However First American accesses SuperTrump, whether it's on the iPad through Salesforce, on the desktop, on the laptop, it's all the same calculation engine. All of the platforms that display SuperTrump all come back to the same calculation engine. So everybody touching it will have the same set of calculations. And not only do we offer all of the wonderful Salesforce dashboards and reports, but we have all of the SuperTrump reports as well. So it's a very powerful and synergistic combination, bringing these 2 groups of significant reports together so that you can understand how to run your business. And this solved a significant problem that Bill and his team at First American had, which was understanding where the profitability is coming from as a lease and loan is priced, structured, and runs its course. So Bill summed up what we did for him, which was we provided a whole new level of speed and service.
So with that, what we've shared with you today is taking the world's proven software solution for modeling and pricing leases and loans, and in working together with the #1 CRM solution in the world, and providing an offering that leverages the strategic value of both products together. You can learn more about the offering by going to the AppExchange, okay, where we have more detail. There's some slides in there as well. And you can find SuperTrump for Salesforce by searching on SuperTrump, Ivory. You can go to sales. Under sales is orders and quotes, and we're listed there, as well as under the industry financial services. So with that, you can also contact us directly. So you can reach us at sales@ivorycc.com or send me an email directly and we'll respond as quickly as possible. Okay, We wanted to take a minute or two and see if there are any questions from today's presentation. I know several of you out there are very familiar with SuperTrump, but not necessarily in this platform. So, any questions? Okay. Yes,
Christian.
What was your biggest challenge in taking the client-side app and enabling it on the Force.com platform? What was the biggest hurdle you had to overcome?
Well, Fred's in the audience as well, but I'll take a shot at this. I think it's like everything else. You build a product, a desktop product that's been built over 30 years. Do you necessarily want to replicate that entirely? Or do you make choices in terms of what's the real value that customers who are getting into Salesforce may want to get at? And then how do you then make that accessible? So it's a different paradigm between desktop and the cloud. So some of those are design choices, they're functional choices, and I think that's probably was the opportunity for the company to say, okay, we're moving it into the cloud, we're moving into Salesforce.com. What are our customers really looking to accomplish with SuperTrump in that environment? Okay.
Any other questions? Well, once again, we would like to express our heartfelt thanks to our customers, some of whom are here in the audience with us, and to our partners, some of whom are here in the audience with us, and to our wonderful supporters at Salesforce who helped make this happen in a very expeditious and quite an easy way. And also to the Ivory team who's here in great measure representing us today. Thank you very much.
Thanks.